Hey, what's up students? Hope you all are doing well. Apologies for the lack of videos on the channel lately. Things have been extremely busy behind the scenes here at 52 Cards, but a lot of really great stuff is on the way. So more tutorials are coming soon. The Mint deck is currently in production and expected to deliver in June. If you want, you can sign up for the wait list. I'll link you to a page on the screen here and in the description box down below. If you enter your email address on your page, then you'll be notified once they are officially available. Okay, and there's another really big announcement which I'm really excited to share with you coming up here pretty soon, so you can look forward to that. Now, in this video, I want to focus on a really important technique when it comes to sleight of hand card magic, and that is how to get a card into classic palm position. So stay tuned, and we'll talk about the ins and outs of the classic palm. All right, let's talk about palming. Palming is one of the really important categories of sleight of hand technique with cards. And we'll talk about various applications and tricks that make use of palming in future videos. In this video, I want to specifically cover the technique behind the two-handed top palm. Okay, now before I can teach you this, you do already need to be familiar with just holding a card in classic palm position. You should be able to do this comfortably, naturally, and without any windows or anything. I've made a video teaching the ins and outs of holding a card in classic palm in the past. I'll link you to it on the screen here and in the description box down below, so you can reference that if you're not already able to do this. But for the remainder of the video, I'm going to assume that you're already familiar with holding a card in classic palm position. Okay, so what I'm going to teach you now is how to get into that position secretly and efficiently. Okay, and we're going to be going over a two-handed method. I've also made a video in the past going over a one-handed palming method, and that's also a good one to learn. I'll link you to it on the screen here in the description box down below. There's pros and cons, for using the two-handed method and the one-handed method. Each has their own set of features or advantages, I should say. I would start with the two-handed method. In retrospect, I should have taught this method before I taught the one-handed method. It's easier, it's less angle sensitive, and it can be done more naturally, I would say. There's less tension involved. But obviously, the one-handed method has the advantage of being able to be done with one hand. So I would learn both. Eventually, if you don't know either yet, I would start with the two-handed method. Okay, so let's get into the tutorial. So you're going to start off with the deck in your left-hand mechanics grip. And before I get into the precise handling for this, let me give you kind of an overview, an exposed view of what's happening, just to give you a better idea. So when I bring my hands together, what I'm doing is with my left thumb, I'm pushing over the topmost card just a little bit. And I'm also angling it out so that the outer end of that corner is now protruding past the end of the deck by just a little bit. Okay? So what that allows me to do is it allows my pinky to contact the outer right corner. And by pushing down on it, what's going to happen is it's going to kind of lever that card so that it pops right into my hand. It has almost like a very automatic feel to it. And it's going to take quite a bit of practice to be able to do it reliably and to get it to pop into, kind of the perfect position, in the exact classic palm position that you want. But let's talk about that a bit more now. Let me go more in detail on the exact finger positions and the handling, and hopefully that's going to help you out. All right, let's get into it. So the key to doing a good two-handed top palm is you need to justify the action of bringing your hands together. It's kind of awkward if all of a sudden, for no reason, you do this, right? So before I do the technique, I like to do just a little bit of a dribble that creates a messy deck situation. And now it makes sense for me to bring my hands together because I'm doing a squaring motion. So in the eyes of the spectator, it should just look like you're fiddling around with the cards, and then almost as an afterthought, you're coming over to square up. And in that motion, the card should now be palmed in your hand. All right, so let's break that down in a bit more detail. So this is the situation you're in. You bring your hands together, and for a brief moment in time, this is the position you're going to be in. So that's all four fingers at the front end of the deck. Thumb is at the back. And what you're going to do is with your thumb, you push over that card as we discussed earlier, but you're going to push it at an angle. Okay. And another thing I should mention here is that it's really important that you only push over one card. If you accidentally push over more than one card, then the palming action is going to be sloppy. Okay, so you come over, you push over the top card singly. Okay, a little tip there is notice how my pinky is beneath that card. So I go from here and then here. So my pinky kind of removes from the side, and that allows the bottom edge or the bottom right corner of the card to slide out, but the top edge, the top right edge stays there. That's what creates the angle. Okay, so I'm just moving my pinky to the bottom. I push that card over, creating that slant, and my pinky is automatically going to be right there at the outer end of the corner, so it's going to be able to feel the corner of the top card. All right, so you're going to be in this position right here for just a moment, okay? And next comes the card palm. Now, you can't do it yet. You can't pop this card into classic palm position because you have a few things blocking passage, okay? My right thumb is still contacting the bottom left corner of that card, so it's not going to be able to lever up. And my thumb is also acting as a brake. So all in one motion, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to remove my left thumb. I'm going to bring it to the side of the deck. At the same time, with my right thumb, I'm going to be kind of just bending it. And, that's going to cause it to lose contact with that corner. And it's going to open up clearance for that card to move. And then the third thing that happens at the same time is that's when I push down with my right pinky. And boom, there it goes. Now, at first, when you do this, it's probably, it's very unlikely that the card is actually going to pop into perfect classic palm position. What's likely going to happen is, this might happen, or maybe you go too far to the right and this happens. This is something that you're going to have to fine tune on your own to figure out, where, the positions need to be so that it pops directly in the middle of your palm so that it's not sticking out either end. All right. But let me give you a few more tips here. Another thing you want to pay attention to is angles. Okay, now the two-handed technique is actually very good when it comes to angles, but there are a few things that you want to consider. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to use a mirror. I highly recommend you use a mirror when practicing just to make sure that all of your angles are covered. This is an especially nice one. It's a three-way mirror, so you can see what people from your left, people from your right, and people directly in front of you are seeing all at the same time. Okay, if you're interested in getting one of these, we do have them available at the 52 card shop, so I'll link you up for that. But anyways, so here's the piece of advice. To help cover the angles for this move, instead of holding the deck, normally completely flat like this, what really helps is to kind of tilt the deck to the side a little bit like this, and also tilt it up. So instead of showing the spectator the back of the card, you're more kind of showing them the front edge. Okay, so as far as timing goes, here's how it would go. You do the dribble, make the deck a little bit messy. When you come over with your right hand, you're going to push the card over, and then you tilt up exactly at the same time when that card is being popped into the hand. Okay, so again, here, and then right about here, that's when I start to angle up. I lever the card up into the palm. Once it's securely in classic palm position, then I can come back down and do the square up. The most vulnerable angle is going to be to your left. So you'll notice that if you're angled too much like this after the card is palmed, then the card in your palm it's going to flash. Okay, so once the card is in palm position, you'll either want to just keep your hand more flat, or you can even tilt your body to the left if necessary, if you have people to the left of you. Okay, another tip that I like to do that kind of just makes your hand look more natural once the card is palmed is notice what I'm doing with my first finger. It's not in front of the deck like this. It's kind of curled a bit more and it's resting on top of the deck. That's just I just think that's a good look. Okay, I think people are less likely to suspect that there's a card in your hand if they see that your hand is positioned in a natural way like that. Okay, so I hope this tutorial has been helpful. If you have any questions about this technique or about the classic palm in general, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more in the future. And you can check out 52cards.com for a bunch of more tutorials and a lot of other cool stuff. Okay, so take care, and I'll see you in the next video.